Cameron and Carl, welcome back to Action Reloaded. It is amazing to have you here. Last time we had you here, it was Halloween Aftermath where you two were kicking ass with Michael Myers, and now you're tackling Ghostface. Let's talk about Scream Descent, man. Let's talk, how did this project come around? Is Scream like franchise favorite of yours in the horror genre? What made you just want to tackle this one next?
Me or you, Cameron?
Cole, why don't you take that one?
Okay. Uh, yes, it's a franchise favorite. I remember being a little kid. I think I saw them back to front actually, Scream 2 and then Scream 1. But I remember being a little kid and I really loved Scream 2. That's the one that probably had the most impact on me and in terms of the entire franchise. But in terms of how this one came about, um, it actually goes back to bloody like as early as like 2023 when James was attached originally, and it was a case of like there was a certain actor that we worked with who had a very particular look, and it was like, oh, he'd be a convincing killer in a Scream project, and it was literally just as simple as that. And for a period of time, it was like, well, let's see where we come to when we've got some free sort of um, real estate on the portfolio to take a look at it, and sort of early last year when Halloween was sort of all filmed and it was all pretty much picture locked and it was just going through its polishing phase. Sort of resources started to get shifted over to the next thing. There was two projects to pick from. Scream was the one that got ultimately picked. Um, and yeah, it was just it was interesting because I didn't really even have like a grip on the story or anything. Like because it's really easy to break these films down. You start off, you have a phone call, you have an opening kill, you have an unmasking at the end, and then there's everything in between.
Yeah.
So it was like, yeah, you have that, but I couldn't get a feel for a good like 5 months on the script. Like I just couldn't do it. I even said to like Jay, I was like, you might as well maybe look for another writer on this one, to be fair, because I don't know. Um, However, I started watching Stranger Things, and then I started getting like certain ideas about like that type of vibe, that type of world, but like Scream. So well, it, it sort of came thanks to that in terms of how it was developed was me seeing Stranger Things, and then I sort of took that formula and applied it to Scream.
That's actually really cool. Who would
Mm.
have thought Stranger Things would inspire a Scream movie?
Yeah, it was a strange one. It wasn't necessarily the 80s or anything like that. It was more the character dynamics. I thought like because if anything, it feels more like Nightmare on Elm Street to me. That series, they don't feel like Scream, but the characters and the way they're all like they're all sort of the kind of dickheads to each other, and they're all very much like outspoken and uh, sort of punky and edgy. And I don't know, I just thought I'd take them caricatures and just sort of like see what I could do with that formula. One of the actors who's playing the sheriff on it, like, I have no shame in saying like he's like pretty much David Harbour in Stranger Things in this. It's very much that style of character. And we specifically found someone that looks and sounds just like David Harbour for that.
Really cool.
So yeah, so it was definitely a massive influence on this.
What about you, Cameron? Would you have been a huge fan of the franchise?
I am a pretty big fan of Scream. I've always had an affinity for the Ghostface killer. I think that Ghostface is one of the more dynamic killers. I think out of like the pop culture, slasher icons, just because he literally can be anyone. It's not something where he's like tied to one particular identity.
Yeah.
And that I think keeps it fresh and moving. I think there's a lot more interesting sequels you can get out of that. Whereas, other characters, like, you have to abide by a timeline, and
Yeah.
you know you start getting criticisms of various characters are a bit too old to keep doing their thing, or you get into a camp where basically Jason is essentially a zombie. So, you know, but Ghostface is cool. I like the whole I like the meta aspect of the Scream franchise, and I think that we are not going to disappoint you if you also like the meta aspect of this franchise. I think you're going to get a lot of fun out of Scream Descent.
So I have to ask, wore the mask in Halloween Aftermath. Did you dabble here in a bit of Scream? Did you put the robe on and the mask in?
So spoiler, no, I didn't.
Ah,
I am
Well,
100% focusing behind the camera on this one. I want this movie to come out as high quality as possible. So as much as I'd love to get behind the mask, and maybe I will for like a I don't know a deleted scene or something. I don't know, but in the meantime, I'm 100% focusing on just making sure everything is tip top.
although it's worth noting, he did put the costume on the first time we received it as a costume test, and he looked
Oh
spot
yeah,
on in it. Yeah, yeah.
that's cool. So
yeah.
you should
I
really.
gotta say it fit me well. Would have loved to wear it.
But the people that are underneath them outfits are doing a pretty good job. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Just wait and see, how our actors work. I think you guys will be quite pleased as an audience.
so this sort of follows suit then around like the from the second movie essentially from what I picked up from the 15 minutes that I viewed.
Mhm.
Um, there's references there to I don't know if anyone would have seen this by then, but the opening, there was references to like Mickey and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Would you say this one fits in with the original trilogy, or where does your film sort of in that Scream timeline?
It takes place in that world. So everything that's happened in the main movies has happened in this movie. The only thing is we just don't reference. We are a standalone thing. Like it's the only like I say the only ties that we like openly have in this is the opening kill girl Layla is the distant niece of Mickey from Scream 2. So she's become a target for these new psychotic bastards that are uh, that are doing what they're doing. Yeah,
The story takes place in a completely different part of California too. It's in
yeah.
a small lakeside town.
It's called
Um,
it's called Parkside, which is a meta reference to the working title for Scream 5, which was called Parkside. So yeah, we sort of like I took that name and stuck that in there as a callback for those who know like the behind the scenes workings of Five.
That's unreal. You should like really. I like the way you like dig in and put all them like Easter eggs in there for people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Man, that's
yeah,
brilliant. The name as well. You're like, well, of course, there's like Scream movies and stuff, but you like put its, a wee title onto it. I don't think that's happened. I think, they're all just Scream 1 to 7 and titled as that. So what inspired the name Scream Descent?
just so there's two reasons. The first one is that it's not a mainline entry. It's if this was legit, obviously, which is not, but if it was, this would be considered a spin-off. So every spin-off has a subtitle. It doesn't have a number,
Yeah.
Rogue One, things like that, The Mandalorian, blah blah blah. Um, but um, the reason for the title was originally there was a different ending in mind, um, which got changed when we had director changes and things like that. But we stuck with the title because it still had relevance to even though Layla's not Mickey's daughter or anything, she's a descendant of that family. So she's so it's still correlated. So
Yeah.
we kept it. We talked about changing it very briefly before we started like talking about it more publicly before we went to camera, and we just thought that nah, it's not necessary. Descent still makes sense in the current version of the story, so it makes sense in that regard. Yeah.
What I like as well about the opening 15 minutes that I got to view was that you had the you had the setup, which was cool. You had the phone call, which was on point, by the way, like I didn't think anyone else could replicate that shit, like, but you've nailed that. And then you've got the scare moment, and then you've got that if anyone's has not seen this, by the way, fucking spoiler coming up. The bit where she pulls out the gun and then shoots him and then walks off. Everyone I'd say who sees that is screaming, "Shoot him in the
The
head!"
head. You always shoot them in the head. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So like, if going on, you top the opening, I'd say you're probably in the running for probably one of the best Scream movies out because the beginning bit was on point, like had me hooked from the start, and then it cut off, and then I was slightly pissed off because you got me invested.
You only have a year to wait, don't worry.
Oh, it'll be a long year.
Yeah, yeah, it'll be a long year for me as well. Bloody hell.
We're supposed to have some banger films out this year, so it might
Yeah,
not be
yeah,
that long, you know. Oh,
no.
and well, I won't go into too much detail, but me and Cole plan to release something before Scream comes out. There's going to be another a little tidbit, a little project that we've been working on that we're going to drop just to keep you guys entertained in the meantime while we work on Scream.
And it'll probably be tied to Scream's marketing. So, we might, for example, drop the Scream trailer at the start of whatever things like that, so we can keep the
Yeah.
engagement with the community going. I will just, about you mentioning like it's one of the best. That does mean a lot, but like it's a tall order because there's ones out there that are really good, and there's one that I really, really love. And I brought it up in several meetings, like when we was in pre-production. It's something called Scream Live, and if you haven't seen that one, that is probably the single best. It, I would say it beats ours in a in a lot of ways to be because it's uh it's borderline like. I know we get told that ours is studio quality, but like the studio quality and then there's like next level.
Yeah.
I think theirs was like sort of they set the bar for us, at least for me. Um,
All right.
so
Well, we haven't even made it yet, so
I would say if you're looking for another one to check out, that's probably the only one in my opinion that's like worth like genuinely setting time aside for because it's just that good. And that one's called Scream Live.
Well, I have to give that a check it
Yeah,
out. And
yeah, yeah,
yeah, I'm just
yeah,
kidding. It's good. You should check it out.
yeah. Not to derail the interview, but like there's things that they do that's really cool. Like they merge the found footage aspects and like red rooms and things like people paying to watch people get murdered live. Like they have like a little eyeball recording inside the mask. It's just check it out. It's good. It's only
that,
10 minutes, but it's great.
that does sound pretty good, actually. Yeah, we'll check
Yeah,
it out.
yeah,
And anyone else who's looking for a quick screen fix? You heard it straight
yeah,
from Carl.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There you go. Yeah,
So I've got to say, right? So if you guys are huge fans, you might find this quite offensive. So I'm sorry, and anyone listening might find this offensive, but sorry. Just in terms of like Scream and stuff, um, I've sort of given up with Scream, especially when like Neve comes back to it, because I can usually predict how the movie's gonna go
mm,
to a certain degree. So like I haven't seen the first one, but I'm gonna be like on point, I think, if I say that Neve Campbell, her daughter, and husband survive, but they all take blows. Mindy and Chad, is it?
yeah,
Yeah. Take blows as per, but survive.
yes, yeah,
Bill Weathers survives. Everyone
yeah.
else is cannon fodder.
Literally how it goes. Literally,
And
literally
I'm
how it
like,
goes. Yeah.
oh, it was just like,
The thing is
so
though, the thing is though, you can only, radio silence for everything they did with Five. The biggest shit that they got was for killing Dewey and for having Amber be the one to do it. Like, even if they took that risk of like killing off another, original, you'll always get people that won't be happy about it, and it'll be the loudest bunch in the room. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I can't blame because the goal with Seven is to start a new trilogy. It's not the end. It, so I can't see them at least for this one. I could never see them killing them off. However, eight and nine, eight might follow the same go as two, killing Randy off. They might finally kill Mindy or Chad or God forbid Courtney Cox or something like that. So you never know.
Yeah, I would love to
there's
see
always
that.
ways that could go.
Yeah, like, start making characters like expendable, so to
Yeah,
speak. Like
yeah,
that
yeah.
was like being obviously a huge action fan. I love the Expendables, but
Mm.
none of them were expendable essentially.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
Ironic. Yeah,
Yeah, like I like love the movies and I could watch them running and gunning all day, but I'm like,
yeah.
put the stakes in there. And then when they did it
Exactly.
part two, they brought in Liam Hemsworth, who you hadn't really got attached to. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? And
yeah.
it just didn't hit as hard, but you know, that's just my gripe with things. But I suppose every franchise is like that, isn't it? Because you've got your star power. Like, look how long they milked Terminator for. They brought Arnold back when he was like kicking 70. You know what I
Mm.
mean?
Yeah, I mean it's one of them, and they are the ones that they put asses in seats. You know, if you haven't got them, the more of the originals you kill off, the less. I think the worry is the less incentive people have to go and bother watching.
Yes.
You know, so I do sort of sympathize with the people who make them choices because it's not easy.
For your Scream anyway, Scream Descent, is it sort of a one and done, or
Yeah,
yeah, one and done?
yeah, yeah.
Fair. And then what can we like expect after? Are you going to tackle like another
No,
project? No.
the sort of like the sort of business plan is like this is it. You know, with Halloween and then this, it's like the idea is we'll build a following or build a collective like name, I guess. So that when we do an original, people have got a reason to say, well, they've done this, they've done that. I can get beyond what they want to do original. Like with Halloween, it was great when it came out. It was really successful, but like a lot of people kept saying, just do something original. I really want to see these people do something original. We know we want to do something original, but you know, the more of these we do, the more people that we bring into the fold, more followers, more audience. You know, people that like Scream don't like Halloween, so then we've got a new group of people. And frankly, there's not any other real franchise I'd want to like do under these like IPs. I guess I think this is it. If we're gonna go out, this is the one we want to go out on.
It's fair. So the original projects, what sort of genre would you be teetering down
I,
on?
yeah, it might sound straight for me. I let Cameron say what he wants to do as well, but for me, it's like I want to do something. I want to do something like a Grand Theft Auto, but small scale. I want to do something like a crime story. Do you know? I don't want to. I don't want to be stuck in. So I want to do something pulpy and actiony, but not too action with lots of drama and character. I don't want to do. I don't want to get stuck in horror. Okay, I'm all for like seeing these innocent women get stabbed up and everything, but it gets a little bit gets a bit boring after doing it so many times. You know.
Yeah, that's true. I can imagine, especially if you're on the other end of it, you're coming up
Yeah,
with the ideas and stuff,
yeah, yeah,
imagine.
yeah, yeah. And then Cameron.
I want to do. I want to do some action, crime thrillers,
Mm.
drama. You know, little bit of comedy and camp. I have some ideas
Rodriguez,
for
like
some original.
Dust Till Dawn, things like that. You know, that type of vibe where it's like very like sort of pulpy and
Yeah,
dark, but
that
funny.
that as well as like some Once Upon a Time in Hollywood type
Yeah,
of
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
dramas. I want
yeah,
to get into some of that stuff. As much as, trust me, this is not going to be the last horror film you see me direct, but
yeah.
I want to get into some of that stuff. I like the detective noir genre. So I do have. I think we talked about that in the last interview we did for Halloween.
Yeah.
Was a little bit of a suspenseful horror noir type of mystery movie. So there's going to be some stuff coming up in the future. Whatever the next project is that we end up working on, it'll fall into one of those categories. But we do have some ideas for sure.
It'll be different.
Have you ever seen
Yeah.
a movie called Gasoline Alley?
No.
No.
Okay.
It's like an in low budget sort of indie movie. It was one of the last sort of movies Bruce Willis was in, but he's more like just a supporting role in it. Just
Mhm.
the
Oh, Devon
actor.
Sawa. Yeah.
Yeah, Devon Sawa's the like lead in it, and
Mm.
it's such a brilliant movie. Like people would obviously shit on it because it's one of Bruce. They're like, that's not a Bruce Willis movie. It's not meant to be. It's like a crime thriller noir. It's unreal. I really, really, really enjoy it. So I would
I've
recommend
just
checking that
I've
out.
just been I've just been watching speaking of noir, Colin Farrell did a show called Sugar. That's really good on Apple TV. And it's very much like modern
Mhm.
noir, sort of narration and all that, all the tropes. A guy in a black suit, private investigator, but it's set in the modern day, to contrast with the tone. So it's good. Yeah.
That's cool. I might have to check, put that on the list as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We're just kind of on a list here. That's what we're
Mm.
doing. Making
Yeah,
our
yeah,
watch
yeah.
list this evening.
Yeah. I mean, you gave me a recommended the other day for was it Dolly? I,
Yes.
I'm still trying to track down a way to watch it, you know what I mean? But the other one I did watch, I'm halfway through. I started last night. Primate, the one with the monkey.
It's it's
Yeah.
good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You
I'm
know,
enjoying it.
usually creature featurey things like that are just, you can usually have a chuckle at it, but this was pretty brutal. Like,
I think the ape looks good in it as well.
yeah,
I've
that's
seen some
really
people
good.
say you can tell it's fake. I'm like, I'm not so sure. I don't know. I think it looks pretty real at some points. You know what I mean? It's yeah, it's really good.
Is it CGI or practical?
No, it's animatronic. Some of it's animatronic. Some of it's a mask, an actor in a suit. But none of. I think there's like maybe probably a couple of CG shots, but nothing like Planet of the Apes or anything like that. It is just a low budget horror, but it is good. It is good. Yeah.
Dang.
Worth checking
That
out.
was the scariest part of that movie, Nope, for me, was
Yeah.
all the stuff with the monkey on the film
Yeah.
set.
Yeah.
That shit freaked me out, man. Especially because if you know anything about like chimpanzees and like their like how they attack people, like if you've ever, I'm not sure if you guys know
Is
much
that the
about.
one where they bring a monkey on a talk show and it mutilates someone? There was a film that
Well,
came out like a year or two ago.
yeah, that was Nope. That was the
Was
beginning
it?
sequence, but
Yeah.
that beginning
Yeah.
sequence is based on a real life monkey. And probably the movie Primate's also based on that
Yeah, I
event
couldn't
that
stop
ends up
thinking of
with the
that real
monkey.
story with a woman that got basically
Yeah,
lost her face to a pet chimp. Yeah.
but that's what chimpanzees do though, dude. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
crazy. They attack faces and genitalia,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
they'll also take your hands and feet. Like
Yeah.
they just attack basically everything that sticks out,
Mm.
and
I
they don't
didn't.
even try to kill you though. They just try to like hurt you as badly as possible and then run off, and that's
So
it.
I think
Well,
Cam's saying he's going to direct the sequel to Primate. So yeah.
no, no, that would freak me out. I hate that shit.
Oh my God, I didn't know
I
that
don't
about
want to do it.
chimpanzees. Lesson has been learned this evening. I did not know chimpanzees were that crazy. I thought it was just
Oh
a
yeah.
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, they're
they're
horrible. They're horrible. Mm.
they're no better than us, honestly.
Yeah.
They haven't invented guns yet. That's the only
Mm.
thing.
Well, fingers crossed they don't invent guns.
Planet of the Apes shows what
Yeah,
happens when they do.
no, literally. Yeah.
So here, quickly
Anyhow,
flipping back to Scream Descent.
Mm.
Because like this feels like it's your big debut, Cameron, and I feel like I haven't really poked you enough about it yet. So you've said that you filmed the first 15 minutes and then you've still got the rest to film. So clearly you know the script, you know the middle, the end. Is there
Hmm.
anything coming up for yourself directing? You're like, this is going to be a nightmare. This is going to be daunting, or how am I going to tackle this?
no, no nightmares. The majority of this movie, well, really any slasher movie is, we're talking about living rooms, backyards, bedrooms, just people talking. So a lot of drama coming up that I don't have any fears about whatsoever. Really, I'm more excited to get to the finale
The
because
unmasking.
since most movies are shot out of sequence, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we're going to be shooting the finale. I can't tell you where that is or what's going on, but I
It's
am very,
unique.
very
It's good. It's
excited.
really good. It is really, really
Yeah,
good. Like genuinely, yeah.
um, I am very excited to shoot that. I'm not nervous even for a second about it because I already can see it in my head exactly like the framing and how it's going to play out. And plus, I already know our actors that we have chosen to play the killer. Um, it's going to be it's going to be epic. You guys, if you guys liked Aftermath, gosh, just wait till you see what we have in store for you for this one. You
And
guys
then
are going to love it.
do we get like the huge sort of chase sequence and so forth that we'd usually get?
There is a chase
Yeah,
sequence.
basically.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
basically. You there's gonna
Actually,
be
really
some
quick, sorry to
words.
interrupt. Sorry to interrupt. I was just saying that just on the chase sequence that it actually says in the script in italics a classic Scream chase sequence, like when a specific thing happens. So it's very, aware of
Mm,
it needs a Scream chase sequence, and it's very, very much there.
So that's running, screaming, and fun into
Yeah, and
buildings.
throwing furniture everywhere, but this one doesn't trip. This one's not a clumsy one, so yeah, it won't be tripping over furniture or anything like that.
yeah, I
Yeah,
was gonna
it's
say our antagonist in this film
mm.
is he is a cunning bastard, a vicious, vicious piece of shit. Golly, you guys, yeah. Well, there's some contrast for characters in this film, and the villain is he's a good one in my
Mm.
opinion, especially after seeing Scream 7.
Mm.
I think you guys are going to be happy with Scream Descent.
I'm really looking forward to it. Like I said, it's just annoying we have to wait the full year. Um, is it
It'll be
shot
worth
on
it.
location?
Yeah. There's it's all location. There might be one thing that's on a soundstage or a green screen set, but it's like
Mm.
99% on location. Yeah.
Because I remember when we were talking about Halloween, there was the like the problem, we'll call it problem, because I can't think of a word right now.
Mm.
Just of people like interrupting, because they'd see the costume, they'd see something, start making noise, honking horns. Does that sort of side of things sort of be like, sort of get you a bit riled because we're on a time schedule here?
Um, I'm not too worried about it. Generally in the Scream movies, the antagonists they tend to keep their victims like allocated in particular locations. Only
Mm.
very seldom does a protagonist escape the house and run off into the street screaming in the night. So luckily I think that the majority of the scenes that we would be shooting out in public that may result in people interrupting or asking what we're doing, those are honestly going to be a minimum.
Mm.
So
That was a
I'm
big
not too worried
learning
about that.
thing. That was a big learning curve from Halloween. Like I'd say the three biggest things for me was firstly the length. I know people didn't like how long Aftermath was. That was the biggest complaint. So, it's not going to be a 2 hour and 15-minute romance movie. And I guess the pacing
Well,
of
it might
scenes.
be. No spoilers.
Well, I want to make that categorically clear. That is not this film. All right. That put a lot of people off
We'll,
Halloween side.
we'll
Um,
workshop it.
okay,
We'll talk
okay.
about
It's
it.
never too late, is it? So and another one was like the pacing of a scene. So like being at a certain location for too long. So like with this one, we're really like switched up. It's not just houses. It's not just streets. There's places where we go that's like never been seen in the franchise. We're not going to space or anything, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's definitely more varied in terms of location. So it's good that we are on location because it'd be really hard to sort of fake that on a soundstage or a green screen room. So yeah, definitely on location for most of this.
That's brilliant. It just brings more authenticity when you can actually see like real locations.
Yeah, Yeah. Another thing with Halloween was it was all we had to be in Pasadena. You have to be here. You have to get this location. You have to show this house, this moment. With this, we don't. We've literally made a fictional town. We can shoot it anywhere we want. A lot of it, apart from the character, is original, to be fair, in that regard. Because apart from
Mm,
using, the Scream world, we're not limited to like, oh, we have to, shoot on this street because that's Sidney Prescott's house or, something ridiculous like
Yeah.
that. So we have a lot more freedom with this one in terms of where we can go and what we can do. So it feels better in that regard.
And do you have like a likable character in it? You know, the way like for me anyway, I don't know
I,
what my likable character
yes.
was always Dewey.
yeah, I hope so. I told you earlier about the one that's inspired by Harper from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Hopper, sorry. His name's Harper in the film. It's a wink and a nod. Cameron, I think Cameron, you nearly cried laughing when he was like, "Is his name really uh, David Harper?" So it's like a reference to
Yeah.
David Harbour. Um, but yeah, that one is probably the Dewey of the film. Yeah, but it's a lot more gruff, but he's warm. He
We
is more
we
likable.
have
Yeah.
we have some really interesting characters that everybody's going to get to meet soon enough when the film comes out. But be on the lookout for Liz, her character,
Mm-hmm.
as well as Kelly, her character.
Mm-hmm.
I think those two are. Well, I
Well,
suppose
they're
I
the
could probably
leads.
say this. This isn't. Yeah, this isn't
They're
really
the
a
yeah.
spoiler, but they're sisters in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I won't go too much into it, but they're those two characters bounce off of each other like I think really well, and the actresses are fantastic. They have great personalities. We have um, Katie as well. I think you guys will like her. She's really quirky. So there's a few characters in there that you guys are gonna really like.
And do you have any like homage kills as well that people will get thrown back to, or are these all original?
Yeah. We have a good spread of original kills, but we do have some callbacks and reference kills to various other horror movie franchises as well as Scream.
Yeah,
Uh,
there's one kill that's quite original that's never been done in the franchise. Cam, I think you know the one I'm talking about, but
I do.
it's yeah, it's
Don't say it. Don't say
no, but it's really fucking cool, and it's not been done in a fan film, and it's definitely not been done in Scream, but
it. Okay, Cole. Really
okay.
quickly, let me. I'm just gonna allude. I'm not gonna say what it is. I'm just gonna allude. Jeff, don't play with matches.
oh, I know, but curious.
That's
If
all
you
we'll
edit it, I
say.
will tell you.
Yeah, definitely. Whenever this is over, I'm gonna have a wee dig here with you guys. Got me curious. Um, Cole, you
Oh, that
also
one's.
Cole, you went on to the runtime there. So just for people that did moan about the runtime of Aftermath, what time sort of runtime you hoping for?
It will be what for this one?
Yeah,
It'll be in line with the main films. Between an hour and 50 and 2 hours. I won't let it get over 2 hours. With
We're
Halloween,
we're sh- we're shooting for the idea of like hour 30, hour 45.
but
We'll see what we can do though.
there's wiggle room. The thing with these movies is there's a lot of drama. Like they're inherently dramatic films. The thing with Halloween is
Mhm.
it's a lot more of a in that timeline that we was in. It was very much at the point of people just want to see carnage.
yeah,
I think Scream's a bit different because there's the investigation stuff. There's the character. It is a lot more character heavy because you need to make people look like suspects. You need to make people point fingers, look innocent. So it might not drag as much. It definitely won't drag as much because there's no romantic character building that needs to happen. It is literally like boom, go, sprint. Like it's a very fast paced story. So yeah, I think automatically and the ratio to like scenes to kills is much higher than Halloween's. So it's just going to be paced better.
Yeah.
So even if, for example, it did hit 2 hours, just as a hypothetical, in my opinion, it wouldn't feel like 2 hours, at least at this point, because the tension and the character dynamics will just make it flow. At least as it's written, I think. It depends, obviously, how it's edited together and everything, but we'll see where we're at in a year from now. And then if it's a 3 hour long film, you can kick me in the ass and say you fucked up. All right,
It won't be. Don't worry.
it won't be.
You sort of hinted at this anyway. Well, Cameron, you did, if people are wordsmiths out there, so to speak. You mentioned that the actors that play the villains in Scream, so you've got more than one killer.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
But the opening 15
But
minutes can confirm it.
oh
Well,
yeah, duh. What am I talking about?
could be a
Yeah,
third.
yeah. They're all a bunch of killers, bunch of murderous bastards. What do you want to know?
Do you always have, well, we'll just say for the hypothetical two, because you could throw a third in there just to be cunning. Do you always
That
have
would be
two,
interesting.
do you have the two killers on
Maybe if we had a
equal
better
time?
writer on this production, then maybe we would have had that. But
Mm, maybe it could be writer and director. Oh, yeah. How's about
oh, that would be pretty cool. Don't threaten me with a good time.
that? Stealing lines from the scripts. All right.
Sorry, Jeff. What was your question?
Sorry, it was just, do you always have both of them killing together? Or is there one
No,
that's more dominant?
Uh, no, no, no.
the divide and
Uh,
conquer.
they
Is that the word? Divide and conquer.
no, they're the the Scream team they're on the ball. We'll just say that. Well, the Scream team is on the ball. They're all free agents. They'll do what they need to do to get the job done. You know, we'll just leave it at that.
I thought you were gonna drop like, an inconspicuous spoiler there. Um,
Well, I suppose I could spoil something. Let me see. Um,
Absolutely nothing. Not another fucking word.
we have some homages to The Shining. We
Cameron's
have
favorite film, so we have to.
yeah,
It's
it's
just a rule. It was
my
part of his
favorite horror
agreement when he
movie.
signed on. Was I want to make this basically The Shining, but put a Ghostface mask on.
fair.
No, well, that was a joke. What Cole just said,
100% a
but
joke. Promise.
it's based out of some truth because I did tell him that my inspirations for the film come from The Shining, Jurassic Park, and obviously the first and second and third Scream movies.
Mm.
Um, so we got some. Be on the lookout for some references. You know, be on the lookout for some real references. That's what I can say.
It's a very
Kills and also just like characters, you know?
is a very sort of not to glaze you too much while you're around, but he's a very sort of visually planned director, so he knows what shots he wants before we go to camera, which we need.
Mm,
Aries, who's the DP. When we was planning this, it was like, right, we want this to be a very on the go shoot, meaning not very, with Halloween was a very stationary camera type of movie. So, you have coverage, you have dolly shots and things like that, but we never really used the Steadicam with this one. Looking at Scream 1 and 2, there's a lot of long takes, there's not much cutting. So
Yeah.
like Cameron like really like jumped at that. So you might notice when you're watching that 15 minutes, for the most part, it's very much like longer takes compared to Halloween, where there's lots of like digital zoom in and very much David Gordon Green style. Whereas this one, it's a lot more like
yeah.
relaxed and ease off the gas a bit and just take it slow while also like moving the narrative forward.
This movie, my only goal from the very beginning was one, I want it to be visually very different from Halloween Aftermath because
Hmm.
obviously it's two different franchises, so I don't want them to feel the same. Two, um, Scream 1 and also Scream 2, to be fair,
Hmm.
those movies they are not interested in relishing like in the quiet moments and sitting around. They
Hmm.
are ready to rock and roll and just get moving to the next event. And so this movie, you're going to feel there's going to be a flow. you know. Don't
Yeah.
expect there to be many moments, because obviously there are some interpersonal character moments that happen in the film where we kind of just have to chill with the characters and kind of like watch them go through what they're going through. But when it comes to the flow of the film, this film is gonna move,
Mm.
and we have Cole, correct me if I'm wrong, but this isn't a spoiler or anything, but there's two time jumps or three time jumps.
Two.
Two. There's two time jumps. I won't tell you where they're at or what causes them, but the movie's definitely moving. It's definitely a paced movie.
And it's written that way. I mean, that's not just like
Hmm.
a case of we wrote a script that was one way and then, going into it like, well, we can shoot around that. Like, no, this was written with the intent of like moving at a similar pace as Scream 1 and 2. You have your
Yeah,
downtime, you have your character building, because you have to have that in order to make you feel for the characters and make you want to point the finger. But we also like we don't want another Halloween where it's like people just sat talking for 5-10 minutes, especially when it's about like relationship backgrounds and things when we don't really know these characters. So it is just a case of making what they're talking about is relevant and just making sure that things move along briskly.
And that sounds cool. It seems like anyway, you boys have, you've picked up some things from Halloween Aftermath anyway. You've picked up what the audience wants. You've picked up, what works better for you, like equipment and technical wise, and the structure of writing like a script that will appease everyone. You've sort of seem to have clustered these things together, and just going off the opening minutes of Scream, you've definitely got something special in the pot there.
I can't wait for you guys to see it. Like, I'm really excited, especially for this. We have a pretty big shoot coming up in the next couple of months. It's going to be like the finale sequence, and I am so excited
They're
to
always the
get.
scenes you want to shoot first because they're just the most
Yeah,
exciting on a film like this. Like it's the same as the actors. Like if you're in a Scream film, you want to be the killer. You don't, it's great if you're a victim and you're in one, but if you're the killer, you get to have so much fun. And the people that are like it's
yeah.
it's fun. It's fun. Yeah.
That's a question actually I have for you. Is going from Halloween to this, what's it like shooting with, well, not multiple anyway, because we'll just base Scream as like a singular for now, right? So Michael was very much just someone who just danders along, whereas Scream likes to do the marathon after you. Was that like sort of, does that make it even more challenging to follow around and make it still look coherent? Because Michael, I suppose, he just sort of plods along at pace, whereas Scream just, Ghostface runs around like a lunatic.
The, I think if we were shooting in the same style as we did in Aftermath, I think it would present challenges.
Mm.
But like Cole was saying earlier, the majority of this movie is going to be shot on like a steady cam or a glide cam. So we're going to be pretty mobile. So having Ghostface running through hallways and chasing after people down or upstairs, it's not going to be an issue. We're going to be able to just like flow as we shoot. I mean, in December, we got through more. I mean, shoot, Cole, how many shots did we have on the shot list? It was something
I don't,
ridiculous
I don't, I
that
don't
we
know,
only
but
had
we
two
got through
days.
19 scenes in 2 days.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
And the reason for that is because if you think about it, every time we need to shoot a scene, every angle we
Mm.
have to set up the tripods, we set up the equipment, set camera, get focus, and then go for a take. Hit a couple of takes, and then we change orientation of the camera
And
in
that
the
was the
room
problem
so
with
we can get
Halloween.
different angles.
Yeah.
All that stuff. Each one of those little adjustments, roughly, you can account for about 5 minutes of dead time. And so on Halloween, it just, there's so much time on set, hours that's
Mm.
basically just devoted to moving equipment and resetting up. But with the glide cam, you basically stay on focus as long as you stay within a certain amount of room between you and the focal point. You just stay in focus and move with them, and then we're honestly able to knock out multiple different events playing out in a scene without ever having to set up camera and break it back down.
That's unreal. You seem to know what you're doing as a director anyway. Your head's screwed on, and I think that's what
Mm,
makes a project a whole lot better. Whenever the director knows his equipment and he's got the passion, you've got these films, it seems like you cut the time down because correct me if I'm wrong, but Aftermath was 2 years in the oven, so to
In
speak. Is that right?
development altogether.
yeah,
About
yeah.
yeah, Halloween was
It was
about
it was like 11 months of actual shooting, right, Cole?
so yeah, 10 to 11 months for filming, but as a whole it was
Mm,
yeah, like a 3 year long thing. And these guys like Cameron had to come back for reshoots, so it was more than 10 months, honestly. It was collectively looking at about 11, maybe 12. Yeah, it was a nightmare.
yeah.
It was horrendous. But yeah, the guys all pulled through, thankfully.
And then,
This one we intend to shoot basically the entirety of the film in Los Angeles, which is where 100% of the cast and crew live, basically. So we're going to cut down on a lot of travel, which is just time consuming because it costs, like on any shoot, when people show up late, it causes us to start late, and starting late means that like 30 or 40 minutes when people first show up and they just start saying hi to everybody. That also sets us back because it's going to happen no matter what you do.
yeah.
And, so the travel for this project is going to be much easier than on Halloween because Halloween was, I don't know if we talked about this in the last interview, but Halloween was shot all over Southern California. Um, I mean, probably the total span of like from location to location from farthest point is like 4.5, 5 hours worth of travel. So it was shot
No
all
joke.
over
Yeah.
California. But I mean, that's just we just had to do it that way to try and keep
And
costs
and
down.
and
But
the, and the good thing with LA is like it's all about like the outskirts of LA. So there's a lot of varied little towns and very much that have that small like Americana vibe. That me and you, Jeff, would watch on
yeah,
TV.
Yeah.
Like
do
it
you
won't
do you
look
want
like
me to get
LA.
into that, Cole?
Yeah, sure, if you want to.
Okay, so what Cole was saying is basically, in basically every movie that shows Los Angeles, you if you imagine it, you're probably thinking of a giant city and like the
Mm.
streets are, dirty, and you're not wrong. But those are certain areas. So primarily every time LA is ever shown in a movie, almost always you're either seeing Hollywood, Beverly Hills, or downtown.
Yeah.
Other than that, there's a ton of other neighborhoods and areas of Los Angeles. There's all the beach cities. There is the what's called the South Bay. The South Bay is where we intend to shoot a lot of Scream. In primarily El Segundo is where we're going to be shooting because it has a very small town vibe. It doesn't look like LA proper at all.
You
Yeah.
know,
So it's
like- you know, like the
completely
main,
different.
like the main street in the It films, like them shots of
Yeah,
the main street, like that type of vibe. Like very,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
that's
And
really
then we're also going to be shooting just outside of LA, like what Cole was talking about in Orange County as well as in Big Bear. Big Bear is obviously going to be the mountainous terrain with all the tall like redwood type of forest. And then Orange County is where we're going to knock out a lot of like interior locations and also small town vibes.
cool. We getting Scream in the Forest.
Well, you remember we were talking about this town that the movie takes place in is like a
Yeah.
different town from Woodbury and all that. It's basically like a lakeside mountain town, and so the town does sit at the base of a large mountain, and the mountain Big Bear in California will be playing that part.
Some good cinematography then.
Mm.
Yeah, we're gonna get some really cool visuals for you guys.
More to the point as well, like we spoke about everything, right? To do with the movie and do you guys want to just, for whoever's listening, watching, whatever they're doing, just tell them a bit about the campaign? Because I do believe they can get on board and help with this project, can't they?
Mm. Yeah. So we
Yeah.
did we did originally plan to shoot on Indiegogo again. However, when we submitted it about a week before we was meant to go live, they turned around and said since they got bought out, they had a policy change and they can't do films like this anymore. So it was kind of like, well, shit, fuck, what do we do? We're kind of screwed. No, it turns out there's platforms out there that are great for this. We we looked at ones, but it came down to a platform called Kofi, Kofi, and it essentially allows us to have a ton of freedom in terms of what we want to sell as perks. It also they take less of a commission fee, so it means more money goes toward the film. It's literally a creator first platform. It's like I best thing I compare it to is Patreon, but without essential membership. So like with Patreon, it's membership based. You have to pay monthly. With these, you can literally sell one-time products like Blu-rays or screen use props, producer packs, things like that. And so far, out of 15 grand that we're aiming for, we've raised I think 12%, which is just shy of 2,000 in a couple of days. So it's going pretty well.
That's pretty.
Um, yeah, there's no end date on it, which is another relief. Like one of my biggest things, I'm a bit of a worrier for things like this. Um, I don't want to. I hate the idea of spending so much time working on something just for it to not be a thing when it doesn't hit 100%. Thankfully, with Kofi, you can go as long as you want, and we can make it work on whatever we raise, basically.
That's
Yeah.
could you possibly name some perks just to
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, we have various amounts for really cheap prices. Thank you credits, screen use props, Blu-rays, producer perks. There's also one on there called an Ultimate Backer, which has like a ton of things on there. It is the most expensive pack, but it gets things like invitation to the premiere when it comes out. You can visit the set. You can get killed by, all sorts of extra little bonuses on there for anyone that should so happen to want that.
That's really cool. So that's Kofi.
Yeah, so it's actually Ko hyphen Fi. It's got like a little coffee cup logo because obviously it looks like the word coffee, but it's Kofi. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's been around for a few years. I've seen it get used more and more by a lot of people. So it's basically a better Patreon, in my opinion.
That's brilliant that you guys can still go ahead and do that because usually Indiegogo would have been
That's
that would
right.
have been the place to for all these sort of fan films. I
Well,
don't know.
this is what the concern is. I'm hoping that people see what we've done. Like I know there's other channels out there that do what we do, and they've kind of got no place like us now. So hopefully they can, use Kofi or something like that to get some sort of financing if they do fan films. Because it is unfortunate that that was one good thing about Indiegogo was it was a lot more lenient with its rules. And not only that, they had flexible funding, meaning if you didn't hit 100%, you could still get the money that you've had pledged. They don't even do that anymore. And it's like, well, what's the point? You're just another Indiegogo now. What's your
Yeah,
unique selling point? Why does anyone want to go with you over Kickstarter? It just makes no sense. It's ridiculous. But yeah, me and Cameron had like a long, long late night call about all that. So yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare.
and then this if this is successful, will this then mark the end of well, not the end, but like the end of like sort of sequely side quest sort of movies, and then will we get a good few original movies from you guys? Is
Yes.
that the
Yeah.
plan? Yeah.
That is the plan. Like I said, I want to do
Oh,
like
yeah.
a crime thing. Cameron wants to do something. So, either way, me and him are going to be working together for a while, for the foreseeable. And yeah, it'll be original.
That's cool because you two seem to have a
Yeah.
good partnership anyway. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, if like I said to you, he stepped up when for this when everyone needed him, and he's done everything that I could have asked him for. Sort of that's needed to get done, and it's turned out. The people we've got together, the crew, a lot of the people from this was on Halloween. And all of them turned round and was like, "This is the right call. This is the right man for the job." So, um, clearly has got a few fans on the team. That was and it shows, on the final product. I think just how much of a step up it is.
That's brilliant. You know, I'm so glad to see you guys reunite and have another movie coming out. You know, because Halloween obviously really huge, Scream really huge, and then on to original projects. So fingers crossed anyway that you guys get to have a long and production
Mm.
fulfilled future, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm sure we will. I mean, I've kind of got nobody else. I don't really have a choice.
Well, I really, really hope that everything does go to plan, and I can't wait to see more of what you guys bring to the table with Scream, because you know,
Hey, we'd love
Halloween
to.
was
I'd love
good.
to. When the time comes, I'd love to debut the trailer with you or something. In terms of a first
That'd be
reveal
awesome.
drop. Or so it'd be something cool to talk about. Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely get used back whenever more gets released, if I can.
Around October later this year. Yeah. Let's
Yeah,
talk. Yeah.
yeah, 100%. You know, I'm looking forward to it. You know, you guys, love what you do. Like you just don't, you don't pick a project for the sake of it. You wouldn't be like, everyone likes Nightmare on Elm Street. Let's just do that. Do stuff that your heart's in. And I
Yeah,
think,
we feel like we have something to say, like a story to tell in that world. We don't
Mhm.
just do it
yeah,
because of the recognizable name. The benefit is we don't have to obtain the rights. We can just go do it. I don't know how legal that is, but it's a fan film. We're not making money. It's fun.
yeah,
Yeah, that's the only legal barrier.
Yeah.
We just can't make money on it, which is fine with
Mm,
us,
yeah,
you know.
well, the next ones you can, because I really do
that's
think
right.
you boys could create some really cool, down the line, of course, get you
Mm,
like your horror and your action and stuff out the way. Sorry, but if you come back to horror, bring back and do an original, and I guarantee you can come up with a really cool killer and some very interesting kills,
mm,
you know.
I mean, we've talked a little bit about, some horror movies in the future. Uh, I've actually planned on doing some location scouting for an original horror project, um, pretty soon, like while I'm doing work on Scream. So we'll figure something out, but don't worry. The original projects that me and Cole have been speaking about, you guys, whichever one we end up going with, you guys won't be disappointed.
yeah, I think we've got a good pick to choose from. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to whatever he's come up with, seeing the work you two done with Halloween, and then getting to speak to you guys after, you know, you just sort of could tell that you you wouldn't deliver something shit. You'd always put your heart and soul into it. And if it did turn out rubbish, I could kind of see Cole being like, "This is just a huge loss. I'll take the hit on the nose." Like,
Yeah.
um,
Well, like I said, there is elements of Halloween that are shit. But frankly, like that's fine because the only way we can make that better is by acknowledging that. If you turn your nose to it and you go, that's perfect, it's a perfect movie. What are you on about? No, there's nothing that could. No, it's not perfect. There's things that are outside of your control, and there's things that you try and it doesn't pay off. And you listen to what people say. Like I said, the biggest thing was the runtime and the pacing. I know, but
and you fixed it
it's
for Scream.
I think we fixed it. We'll see. Again, it could come out in a year and everyone's like, this is just as slow as how it won't be. I promise you. But yeah,
No, no, that's not going to happen.
that is
Don't
the
worry. I'll talk to the director about it. That's not going to happen.
yeah,
Don't worry.
yeah, yeah.
Man, I'm really looking forward to it, and you guys have to just keep me in the loop, you
We
know.
will. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Done and done.
yeah,
Like you know, like we say, we'll talk when we get close to October because that's when we'll start doing some stuff.
yeah, that sounds brilliant.
Um,
Because use a couple of guys that like used doing Halloween. I was like, "Do you know what? It looks good. I need to talk to these boys." And then it was just once you got talking to you, you knew you had your shit together, and it's just
yeah,
like you're just a pair, and I want to follow, to be honest.
yeah.
So definitely.
No, we appreciate that, honestly. It's both ways. We appreciate what you do for us. It's
I, especially, you get these see like your movies and stuff. You used to do the movies that Hollywood wouldn't really do.
mm.
Like I was saying before, what I don't like about franchises in general is that the safety of people, whereas I don't think you,
Oh, nobody's fucking safe in this.
yeah, that's
Nobody.
what I like.
Honestly, yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't get too attached to any of these.
Yeah, and that's what I like. It's very unpredictable, and you just don't give anyone an easy way out. Like that
Uh,
opened 15 minutes. Like,
oh yeah, what did you the final stabs was yeah,
yeah,
brutal.
like that,
Yeah.
that was brutal,
Mm.
And I was like, Jesus Christ, how, like it catches you off guard, and it has that effect. I remember we spoke about it on for Halloween. It's that sort of same momentum where you could just feel their pain, and you're just hoping they go quickly, but they don't.
No, I tell you what, the moment for that did it for me was when we was doing ADR for the when she's getting killed. And if you, I don't know how easy it is to make out to a blind watcher, but me knowing what she says, like when she's getting stabbed, she starts shouting out for her mother. She's like, "Mom!" When she's first gets, it's just gut wrenching. It's like, oh,
Yeah, she says mama.
yeah, yeah. When she's getting stabbed, and it's just horrible. To be fair, no, and we do acknowledge that as the film goes on, that like what happened to her was fucking wrong. Like no matter who her uncle was, she didn't deserve that. So
Yeah.
it's not like a one and done. You will. Because the main characters of the film are part of her friend group. So that is the story of the film is like them, this group trying to find out who did what they did, not realizing that, potentially the one that did it is amongst them. So it's very much like a The Thing type of paranoia.
Before we finish up, I was meant to ask this like right at the beginning, but like I
Yeah.
forgot, so go ahead like a sieve, you know. Um, so you're a big like Scream fans and stuff. What do you make of like the spoof versions, like in Scary
Oh,
Movie?
I can't wait. I can't wait for that. I cannot wait. I cannot fucking wait. I just tell you what, I could chew your ears off for hours about that. I cannot wait. Like that movie is it's gonna make a lot of money. It's gonna make a lot of money. When you can just feel it when it's gonna like yeah, it's gonna make a lot. That'll be a good film.
Yeah,
Like I remember we'd gone to see Scream 7. All I really cared about really was I told our last so to speak. I was like, oh, you're gonna you might see because Marlon Wayans had announced that they're gonna drop the trailer with Scream 7, even though it was predictable anyway. Same studio, they always drop trailers in time with the new films.
yeah.
So I was like, oh, you might see a scary movie trailer. We saw it on the Thursday, so we saw it a day early, so we didn't get to see the trailer. But I'm asleep at like 7 o'clock in the morning, and she starts slapping me on the face like. She's like, scary movie trailer, scary movie wakes me up, and then I'm watching like a bootleg version of the new scary movie trailer.
Does it
Uh,
look good?
it looks perfect. It literally, you'll see it on Monday. It goes online tomorrow. So, yeah, it looks. It's just what everyone wanted. I think it doesn't show too much, but it shows enough to know what you can expect. And it looks like it's doing all the right things, then saying the right things, and taking the piss out of the right things. You
Wow.
know. So yeah, I think you'll enjoy it if you like those films.
Yeah, I love Scary Movie, especially the first
Mhm.
two. The first two, I
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I like the third one. I think they stopped getting good at three, but the third one, I don't like it because it's a spoof me. I think it's a creepy movie, like genuinely. Like it is an unsettling movie at times. Like the music, especially like the little piano cues and that. It's but it's really funny. Like a lot of like Brenda and the Sydney, the TV's leaking and things like that. Like
oh
just so
yeah.
many iconic moments. But yeah.
Well, guys, I have no more questions for you. Well, nothing relevant anyway. I could just talk your ear off about movies well, I could talk anyone's ear off about movies. So
Yeah, same.
but it's been good having you back. I'm really excited for Scream Descent. If you need anything posted, you want me to get that campaign on, just send me the dates and everyone. It's on Kofi, grab a
Yeah,
cup and sign up and
yeah.
help these boys out.
Yeah, yeah. No, we really appreciate
We
that, Jeff,
appreciate
honestly.
it.
Yeah.
Every penny counts. We appreciate
Mm.
it.
You know, it helps get you guys out there and it helps get you sort of funding for your own projects as well. because
Yeah,
you can see from the mind of you guys what you can do with characters that people love. So your own original stories are just going to be as good, if not better, because you're not limited to what you can do with copyright,
yeah,
etc. So
yeah. And
it,
like I said, just to sort of not carry on, but like like I said earlier, like the better thing about this versus Halloween is it felt more original to me, at least to me. Like writing it was like because the only real character you use in that's not original is Michael Myers. We don't have to mention a Laurie Strode. We don't have to mention Haddonfield every 2 minutes. We
yeah.
can be a lot more. It feels isolated from the franchise, but it feels like it's in there still. So it is definitely it feels more like
It
original.
feels it feels isolated just because we can't tell you too much more. But
There
the
is
the
yeah,
overarching feeling of it being involved in the rest of the series, it's very much there. We just can't get into it.
Yeah, well, we can wait a year. What's a year?
well, it's more than a year. It's not. It's the end of next year. Yeah.
Well, we'll say a year, we don't want it to push it into that,
Well, I
Halloween
could say
three.
yeah, and then in January
We
drop
don't
a
have
hi
to
everyone post.
rub salt in the wound.
One man year is like another man's, was it 15 months or so? We can all, extend by a little bit and it doesn't hurt.
It's gonna be a wait. It is gonna be a while, but the thing is with these is they're ambitious. So it's all about giving it that care and attention. That's my thing. Is the no compromise aspect. We could ship this out in October if we get it filmed by the end of summer, but it'll be dog shit. So we don't want that. We want like a certain quality bar, and yeah, next year to get that.
So there we go, everyone. You can wait till the end of next year and get Scream Descent, or you can wait till October and get Scream Dog Shit. It's up to you.
Yeah, seriously, what do you want?
I bet you there'll be some people who want the flaming special on their doorstep.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll post online the first ever rough cut of it when it's done, and then see what people think. Instantly ruin the reputation we've built with Halloween.
Oh, guys, you know what? It's been awesome having you here. Keep up the good work, keep me updated,
We'll
and you know
do.
what? Keep killing.
We'll do. We will do. At least for this one.
We absolutely will.
Thank you so
Thanks for
much.
having us.
Um,
Thank you, man.
Anytime, you're always welcome here. Even when you get big.
Oh, we really appreciate that.
Absolutely. We'll be back. Don't you worry, we'll be back.
I'll hold you to it. Thank you so much for your time, guys, and
No
see you
worries,
in
man.
the next one.
We'll do. See you in a bit.
See ya.
We'll see you soon.
Bye bye.
Bye.